Budget preparation requires organizations to recognize that resources are rarely unlimited. Even when sales opportunities exist, operational constraints may prevent a business from achieving its desired objectives. Within the program framework, limiting factors and stress testing are important concepts that improve the quality and reliability of budgets. Limiting factors help management identify the constraints that restrict organizational performance, while stress testing evaluates how budgets perform under adverse conditions. Together, these techniques support realistic planning, effective resource allocation, and proactive risk management. By incorporating both concepts into the budgeting process, organizations can develop more robust plans and improve their ability to respond to uncertainty. A limiting factor, sometimes called a key factor or principal budget factor, is any resource or condition that restricts an organization's ability to achieve its objectives. Because organizations operate in environments with finite resources, one or more constraints usually determine the maximum level of activity that can be achieved. Common limiting factors include sales demand, production capacity, labor availability, machine hours, raw material supply, storage capacity, financing availability, and regulatory restrictions. Identifying the limiting factor is a critical first step in budget preparation because it establishes the framework within which all other budgets must be developed. In many organizations, sales demand acts as the primary limiting factor. If customers are unwilling or unable to purchase additional products or services, increasing production will not generate additional value. In such situations, the sales budget becomes the starting point for the entire budgeting process. Other organizations may face operational constraints instead. For example, manufacturing companies may experience shortages of skilled labor, machine capacity, or critical materials. Regardless of its nature, the limiting factor determines the maximum feasible level of activity and therefore influences production planning, purchasing decisions, staffing requirements, and financial forecasts throughout the budgeting cycle. Management accountants use limiting factor analysis to optimize resource utilization and maximize organizational performance. Once the constraint has been identified, managers focus on allocating scarce resources to the products, services, or activities that generate the greatest contribution or strategic value. This approach ensures that limited resources are employed as effectively as possible. Limiting factor analysis also supports product mix decisions, capacity planning, investment evaluation, and operational improvement initiatives. By understanding where constraints exist, organizations can prioritize actions that either improve efficiency within existing limitations or remove the constraints altogether through investment and process enhancement. While limiting factor analysis focuses on operational constraints, stress testing addresses uncertainty and risk within the budgeting process. Budgets are based on assumptions about future conditions, including sales volumes, prices, costs, exchange rates, interest rates, and economic performance. However, actual outcomes often differ from expectations. Stress testing evaluates how a budget would perform if unfavorable events occur. Managers intentionally modify key assumptions and assess the impact on profitability, cash flow, liquidity, and operational performance. This process helps organizations understand vulnerabilities and prepare contingency plans before problems arise. Stress testing often complements sensitivity analysis and what-if analysis. Sensitivity analysis examines how changes in a single variable affect budget outcomes, while stress testing typically evaluates more severe or combined adverse scenarios. Examples include a significant decline in sales demand, a sharp increase in material costs, supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, economic recession, or unexpected financing difficulties. By examining the consequences of these events, management can identify critical risk exposures and determine whether current plans remain viable under challenging conditions. This improves organizational preparedness and strengthens decision-making under uncertainty. The benefits of stress testing extend beyond risk identification. It encourages managers to challenge assumptions, improve forecasting accuracy, and develop alternative strategies. Organizations can establish contingency budgets, maintain liquidity reserves, diversify suppliers, or adjust production plans based on stress testing results. Furthermore, stress testing enhances communication between departments by highlighting interdependencies and potential operational weaknesses. Finance teams, operational managers, and senior leadership can collaborate to evaluate risks and determine appropriate responses. This proactive approach helps organizations maintain resilience and flexibility in increasingly uncertain and volatile business environments. In conclusion, Limiting factors and stress testing are essential components of effective budget preparation. Limiting factors identify the constraints that restrict organizational performance and ensure that budgets are developed within realistic operational boundaries. Stress testing evaluates how budgets perform under adverse conditions and helps organizations prepare for uncertainty and risk. Together, these techniques improve planning quality, strengthen resource allocation decisions, enhance risk management, and support organizational resilience. By understanding both the constraints that affect performance and the risks that threaten future outcomes, management accountants contribute significantly to more reliable budgets and more effective organizational decision-making.